Hello, you handsome devils. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Lumpini Park here in central Bangkok. So this is my first time here. We've got two missions today. One, I'm gonna channel my inner Steve Irwin. There is a creature here that is straight out of a prehistoric dinosaur novel a la Jurassic Park. So we are gonna hunt those down first of all. I timed it from my very limited understanding on how reptiles work. It is the proper time of day. In theory, these guys should be coming out to get some sun, get their day started. So we're gonna hunt those down. But also, while we're here, while we're doing a little bit of exploring, there's some videos going around coming out of Thailand right now. Some people have some very strong opinions on what their experience in Thailand was compared to what they thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna give you my personal, very anecdotal evidence, whether I think that it's true or not. Some people are trying to say that Thailand has changed. Thai people are no longer friendly. Taking a vacation here is not worth it. Is that true? Well, let's go get some exploring done. Let's go find some critters and I'll let you know what I think along the way. One thing I am noticing already about the already lovely Lumpini Park, so where I come from in America, in Arizona especially, people just don't go outside for like 5 months out of the year, 6 months, 9 months for people like myself. So when it comes to like green spaces and stuff, I mean, we have parks, don't get me wrong, but they are a bit fewer and far between depending on where you live. And the parks that there are, there's not a lot going on, really. It's, they're pretty small. Usually, like, you'll go there might be, you know, a couple older aunties that are spinning some laps, getting their exercising in the morning, but that's pretty much it. As opposed to here, I've already noticed, there are a lot of people here. It's Saturday for reference, but one, this place is massive. As I was driving in, I could just tell. I drove by it for like a mile or two before I even was able to pull in. And all different types of people, as opposed to just the older aunties, kids, families, a little bit of everybody. Man, another thing when I was driving over here, I was pretty sure to come early because this time of year in Bangkok, it gets, I mean, it's always hot, but it gets especially hot this time of year. So I came over pretty early, but even as I was riding the bike over, I was, you know, sitting in traffic, it's like, dude, it's gonna be so hot and miserable. But I swear, just as soon as I walked into the park, it's like 10 degrees cooler. Makes sense with, you know, not all the pavement and everything. So that is really nice. One thing, you know, part of a caveat of living in Thailand is like, obviously I'm always looking for events and things going on, stuff that I can go hang out, film, share it with you guys. Thailand is notorious for there not being, you know, a lot of good channels to know when events are coming up. Mine is you following, you know, very specific pages, the people that put the events on themselves. It can be really hard to find things before they happen. Usually you like see the recap video and you're like, man, that would have been nice if I knew that and I could have gone. But especially when it comes to here at Lumpini Park, there's always some type of event, you know, either going on or coming up soon. So I wish they kind of had like their own, you know, Facebook profile or something where they would list all that stuff. I mean, I try to get better at it. I try to share it with you guys, but even after being here for as long as I have, it's still, you know, you got to be tied into the right people to always know what's going on. And speaking of events, you know, you could see all those cool things in the water. Just a couple weeks ago, they had a, I almost called it Sailor Moon. Any of you anime weebs, don't rip my head off. They had a One Piece event here that looked super cool, but by the time I saw it, it was already the last day. It was like 4 p.m. in the afternoon. It looks like they're still doing like the boat rides back here. I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't even fit, even if I wanted to do it. I'm trying to get better about like, oh, here's some funny little activity. let's do it. That is one thing, like a bit of a caveat that comes with, you know, flying solo a lot of the time when you go to places. There's nobody to really like kind of push you to do anything. I remember the last time I was in Laos, we went to this place up in Vang Vienne where they had like all these cool zip lines and stuff. And I was with a couple buddies. I probably would have not done it if they weren't there, but they wanted to do it. So they kind of forced me to do it, and I'm glad I did. It ended up being really fun. It's even after solo traveling for this long, it can still be easy to kind of just talk yourself out of everything. I'm trying to get better at it, but you know, what can you do? I do gotta say, the contrast of like the lakes and the trees, and then everywhere you look around is all these massive skyscrapers. Super cool. Bangkok is actually really good. There's a lot of like green areas throughout the city. You know, especially like it still kind of blows my mind. Like you hear about these other cities, you know, when you're at home, but especially if you've never really traveled, it can be easy to think that like, oh yeah, this is just how cities are built. Even here, after being here for a few months, it's like, sometimes I look out the window in my condo and it's literally skyscrapers as far as you can see. It's so like wild to me. Then you like really look into how massive Bangkok is. It puts a lot of cities in America to shame. It's not even close. All right, boys, we found one. It took us a minute, but we found one. From what I understand, I've run into these guys in a couple other places, and for the most part, they're chill, right? They live here in the park. They're used to seeing people, but I'm not gonna push it, right? I would imagine just by looking at him, he's probably got a pretty nasty bite. If you rubbed him the wrong way, I know they can also whip you with their tails really hard. So let me see if I can get you guys a good shot here. Let's check him out. Flip around, there we go. Now, I don't know if you guys could tell or not from that video, but that guy was an absolute unit. Granted, I didn't know because I've never been here. I've heard some people, you know, mention it, but I feel like people always kind of gas everything up. But those guys are absolutely everywhere, at least here by the lake. Makes sense, water monitor. Another thing I saw is there is some massive, either catfish or carp or something in here. There's some type of huge fish, which is cool. Like our parks in America, I've never seen like, minus, you know, birds. Never see animals in the water because they just treat it so much. You know, whatever that chemical is they put in there to like make it blue. You might see some hardy goldfish, but that's about it. As compared to here, there's critters everywhere, which is just kind of weird in the middle of the city like this. But you know, Bangkok has a lot better access to just constant fresh water. Makes sense being right on the river. So I would assume they kind of just channel most of this in and you're good to go. Now, in regards to our other point, right? Lately, there's been quite a few like trending videos, people leaving Thailand after their trip and saying essentially that they didn't get the hype, right? That they didn't feel like Thai people were friendly, or that they didn't feel like the quote unquote tourist spots were lived up to their expectations, a whole litany of things, right? So I've been here for a few years at this point. And granted, you know, everywhere's changing, and Thailand has changed quite a bit in these past few years. You know, it's kind of hard to say whether that's because of your personal experience or whether, you know, Thailand is changing as a whole entirely. But for the sake of argument, just so I can give you kind of my anecdotal evidence on what I see, that some changes, some things that might not be the same as they used to be, let's just grant that all of that is true. Grant that, you know, Thai people aren't as friendly anymore, or the touristy places don't live up to the hype. even though I don't really think that's personally true, but just to kind of pick it apart, right? So we'll start with are Thai people less friendly? Short answer for me, no. I haven't noticed a difference. I think people treat me the exact same as when I first got here. But like we said, for the sake of argument, let's assume that that's true. Feel like they're running into less friendly people. Over these past few years, I mean, you guys have seen it on this channel. We have covered countless stories of foreigners coming to Thailand and acting a fool, being disrespectful, breaking laws, coming here and feeling like they need to be treated like kings, or that the locals need to like fall at their feet and worship them for being here. I hope I don't have to tell you that that's not the way to go about it, right? Don't come here expecting that because you're on vacation and you're spending money that you can just essentially do whatever you want. And something that would come with that, imagine if it was your country. Imagine if your country was this huge tourist hotspot and day after day you were seeing stories online or, experiencing it in person. I haven't only seen these type of things happen online. I've seen them happen in person as well. Imagine that was you and that was your country and you saw people coming there and acting like that. It's pretty safe, easy to say that you might be less inclined to be just so openly friendly to everybody you come across. And in regards to the tourist places not living up to the hype, so I've seen tons of people complaining that places are crowded, especially nowadays with social media, guys. None of the cool spots, the really cool spots, are secrets anymore. I feel like as content creators, we catch a lot of blame for that. I see people online all the time saying, oh, this place is ruined because of content creators. I don't really believe that, because people are going to be online promoting these places, especially business owners, things like that. But you can't expect to go to these super popular places that are on every top 10 to-do list and expect that you're going to be the only person there. Especially in Thailand, like it used to kind of be, if you came during the rainy season, there are really popular places you could go to and essentially nobody would be there. But with the state of the world right now, a lot more people are looking for budget-friendly options to go travel, so more people are coming during those slow seasons. There are very few super cool spots that aren't completely blown out and, completely touristerized, you know what I mean? But you gotta find somebody that's willing to show you those places, or somebody that's kind of found them on their own somehow. I think a lot of disappointment when it comes to traveling can be brought just to expectations, right? Everybody, myself included, everybody that takes pictures, photos, videos, whatever, we always show the best stuff, right? Thailand, just like anywhere else, there's a lot of stuff that gets left out of the videos. There's a lot of things you don't see at these super touristy hotspots. Maya Bay is a great one. You see the photos from there and you're like, wow, that looks amazing. I'd be the only person on the beach. Then you get there and there are literally thousands of people on the beach. So I think going into those situations is just understanding that you are not going to be the only person there. And at the end of the day, everybody who's traveling has just as much of a right to those places as you do. So I don't really think that this is a thing. I don't think, Thailand is not worth coming to anymore by any means. If anything, I think this, maybe being disappointed by the super touristy spots could help push you out into some places that people don't normally go. And I really think that's where the coolest experiences are, right? If you just go to the same place that everybody else has gone thousands of times, you're not going to really experience anything that's unique to you. So take that with a grain of salt. And when it comes to, the friendliness, I have not seen that at all. Generally, I feel like Thai people are very good at reading people initially. And if you're walking around with your chest puffed out, looking down your nose at everybody, you're probably not going to get treated as well as if you were just, friendly and cordial and did the things that you're supposed to do to not be disrespectful, right? The way that I look at it is, there is quite a bit of sentiment out there nowadays. Thailand is cracking down on its tourist policies, which I completely understand. I think every country should be selective about who they let come inside their country and travel around, right? I think it's really important, you know what I mean? If you want to come here and you want to have those, authentic experiences like everybody says, that you just do your best to go against the grain, right? Like I've had multiple instances where I saw some tourists acting like a fool, treating a vendor like trash or something, and I'll go up right behind them and do the polar opposite of that. Go about your days trying to, reinforce the positive narratives around foreigners in Thailand. Don't feel like anything is, your right. Don't feel like you have this privilege where you can just go around and treat people however you want because you have money. Not only is that not good for your experience, I don't really think that's good for you as a person. Nobody is better than anybody, no matter how much money you have. And most of the time, the people that I've met that have a lot more money than me, I don't really think they're as good a person. Take that however you want. But if you are seeing these videos, don't put a whole lot of faith in them. If coming to Thailand is something you want to do, I say go for it. If you want to find those places that are off the beaten path, there are still plenty of them. You're just gonna have to do a little bit more work. You're gonna have to fly a little solo. You can't go online and build your entire itinerary off of what somebody else did. So that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you're currently living in Thailand or you've been coming here for an extended period, have you seen things change? If so, why do you think? But mission success for Lumpini Park. We found our absolutely massive critters, biggest lizards I've ever seen in my life. Super cool. There were some people who were getting so close to them and filming them. Brave, probably really cool shots, but with my luck, especially when it comes to animals, a lot of the time, I'd be the one guy to get bitten, spend the rest of the day in the hospital. So no, thank you. But thank you guys for hanging out. If you did make it this far in the video, I appreciate it so much. Over the next couple weeks here in Bangkok, we got some really cool events coming up. So if you would like to see those, tag along for the ride. You know what to do. All those buttons are down below. It's time for me to go get some lunch. I'll see you guys in the next one. Just kidding. One little extra jewel, if you did make it this far in the video, you get a free little golden nugget of knowledge. If you're a single guy living in Bangkok, you like to exercise, come out for your jog in the morning, I would advise getting a place close to Lumpini Park because, man, I've been here for about an hour. I'll tell you, target rich environment.